do we always question people who don't want kids instead of questioning the people who do want children? Like, I've never heard one justifiable, logical reason, non-emotional reason, logical reason why someone would want children. I've heard, oh, I want a legacy. I want someone to be here after I'm gone. That's selfish. I've also heard, I just want to be a mother and take care of something. That's also selfish. You can barely take care of yourself in this economy. But when I say, I don't feel like it's morally right for me to force someone to be on a planet where you have to pay for resources that you need and are readily available to you. I don't feel like that's right to force someone to do for the next 80 years without their consent. I'm considered selfish. Please explain that to me.
Hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I just want to make a quick little video, basically talking about some mom guilt that I have been experiencing, and just some things about my motherhood experience. And it's kind of to piggyback off of a comment that was left on one of my videos, where basically this woman was saying that there basically needs to be a space created, with more mothers talking about how they dislike motherhood and just being honest. And I honestly do feel like that a lot of women with kids should be keeping it real with women that do not have kids. I feel like a lot of moms, they want to like sugarcoat and make it basically seem like that it's just always good times and it's just always so precious. Yes, the kids are cute, but it's a lot that you have to go through, behind the cute little social media posts and the cute little dressing up your kids and putting them in cute little outfits. Like, it's a lot more that goes into this motherhood thing. I do feel like that nowadays there are a lot of women who have been very, very vocal about their experience with motherhood, and it's like more accepting now. But there are still a lot of people that are like,
how dare you not like being a mother? How dare you?
Like, it's like a lot of people have unrealistic expectations for women. And so a lot of women do not, truly come out and speak how they feel because they're afraid that they may get, shamed for it, basically. Just because you do not like being a mother, that does not mean that you do not love your kids. And we need to normalize that. And there are, especially on TikTok, a lot of channels and videos, regarding how people truly feel about motherhood, the ups and downs. Like, it's not always bad times, but it's definitely not always easy times either. And I just feel like in my personal experience, when I first had my kids and, while I was making them, I truly did not think about what I was bringing them into. And that's something that I feel guilty about. Basically, like, the world is so evil. So I did not think about everything that I would be having to protect them from necessarily. And I feel like a lot of people don't think about that because they're thinking about what they want. They want kids because they want people to look like them. They want somebody to keep on the family name. Whatever the reason is, it still does not change the fact that we brought people here against their will. And I know it sounds crazy, but if we didn't ask them, hey, you want to, come on this horrible place called Earth and have to, deal with the problems of the world. Having to deal with things like sexual abuse, people preying on your kids, always wondering, if you send your kids to school, will they be safe or not? Are you putting your kids in good arms? Then having to think about, your kids' mental health. You got to make sure your kids are okay. And one of the things, like, I did not truly think about, like, how much I was really taking on, I think I had my first baby when I was, like, 21. And to me, 21 is still a fairly young age because I feel like at that moment of life, you're still experiencing life and you're still trying to find out who you are. And I feel like that I missed out on finding out exactly who I am because I took on such a big responsibility so soon. And of course, like I always tell you guys in all of my videos, I would encourage any young lady to protect themselves. Whether it's, of course you can choose to have kids if you want to, but it's just so much that comes with it. And a lot of us mothers, we don't feel like that we're mentally strong enough to handle it, but we know that we don't have a choice because the babies are here now. So here we are, trying our best to give them the best life that we possibly can because it's our responsibility, not ours alone, but it is, 50% our responsibility to ensure that our kids have a great life. And that is hard to do. Like, always feeling mentally drained because I'm just always overthinking everything. Like, because sometimes I feel like that people don't view my kids the way that I view them, and that's why I start feeling so guilty a lot of the times, because it's like, well, I had them, so of course certain people won't be able to connect with them like I am. I'm over here thinking about every experience that I have had as a young woman, a lot of traumatizing experiences, and here I am, you know, raising 2 young daughters, and I'm just like, God, I really pray that my kids do not have to experience the things that I have experienced growing up, because not everybody's strong enough to be able to go through some things that were as bad as I have and be able to come out on top. And you know, as a mother, you're always, or as a parent really, you know, you always want to protect your kids from harm, but it's like you can't shelter them too much, because then they won't know like what responsibility and character is, because they'll always be looking for their parents to, you know, bail them out. I start feeling guilty about simple things that I'm pretty sure I should not be feeling guilty about, but it's just what comes with, I feel like, with being a mother. Okay, I have 2 children, so on most nights one of them wakes up in the middle of the night breaking my sleep, and a lot of the times it is my 2-year-old. She would get out of her bed and come try to get in my bed, and I'm trying to teach her that mommy needs her space. You know, you have your own nice comfy bed, and mommy likes to sleep in her bed by herself. But sometimes when I send her back to her room, I start feeling guilty, because I'm like, well, you know, she just wants to cuddle with mommy. She just wants to feel mommy's love. She just wants to, you know, feel my presence and my warmth. And so that's something that sometimes I be feeling guilty about, because I'm like, so you really just gonna sit right here and lay in this bed by yourself knowing that your baby want to cuddle? And other times I do not feel guilty about it, because I'm like, mommy needs her sleep, and you know, my child sleep well, so it's just like, Lord have mercy. And also, like, when you're having kids, sometimes it does not click until after the fact that people have different views. And so sometimes, like in parenthood, you have to compromise with somebody else that may feel like a totally different way than you feel about life in the world. Like me, for instance, I really like to not have my kids exposed to certain things, because I feel like that it can mess with their mental health as they grow, because kids are very, very impressionable. They repeat everything they hear. They're nosy. They get into things. And as far as me, I just feel like that by me trying to monitor like certain things and make sure that the people around them are doing things how I would do things, it's pretty much draining. But in my mind, what I'm trying to do is set them up for greatness, because I feel like a lot of people be jacked up as kids because they were allowed to be exposed to certain things. And it's like, I don't want that for my kids, but I can't protect them from everything. Oh God, and I forgot to tell you, like, I got some clothes in there washing, so hopefully y'all can still hear me pretty clearly. But it's just like, yeah, that's just something that at that moment, like when you're creating your kids and when you have your kids, you're thinking about the family dynamic, but sometimes you're not always thinking about everything that goes into that. Like, I'm raising 2 young women. They will have to go through certain things that mommy won't always be able to protect them from. Like, for instance, dealing with little boys. And I just feel like a lot of women, okay, especially, you know, first let me say this, black women are great mothers, but in the black community there are a lot of parents or women that are raising their sons to be the type of men that they are attracted to. Like, people out here raising thugs, people out here raising little boys to, you know, be introduced early sexually. Like, they think it's cute for their son to go around here, you know, smacking their butt and staring at butts, and kids just should not be, you know, exposed to things like that. And I understand it's life, you know, things happen, you can't prevent everything, but to put certain things in front of a child and to think that it's not going to mess with their mind or it's not going to, you know, alter the way they think, is just crazy to me. So it's like also acknowledging the fact that people raise their kids differently. And, you know, when your kids are out of your eyesight, they're going to have to, you know, go and be amongst these kids that were raised completely different than they are, you know, whether, you know, good or bad. But it's just like they will still have that experience. And it's just something that as a parent, you won't be able to, you know, interrupt. You won't be able to be like, oh no, sorry, like my child doesn't do that, or I don't allow my child to do that. It's just like, well, this is the real world, you know, they're going to see it one day. It's just like, I feel guilty like about a lot of things. Besides the fact, you know, I wish I would have never did it to them. And that's just me being honest. And I hate when people act like that when a mother speaks her truth. She should feel ashamed, like, oh my God, like, how dare you not love motherhood? How dare you not want to be a mother 24/7? How dare you want a break? How dare you want time for yourself? How dare sometimes you just wish that you would have made different decisions? And basically, for my channel, I try to make it a gateway for mothers to be honest about their experience, because there are so many of us that feel the exact same way, but we just don't want to feel like bad parents about it. But me, on the other hand, I don't feel like a bad parent for, you know, being truthful and honest about my experience, because I know that my kids are well taken care of. They know I love them. They feel the love. If it was up to my kids, they would never get a break from me. Every time I send my kids off somewhere, they're always asking somebody, well, where's mommy? What's mommy doing? Honey, mommy's trying to breathe. Okay, mommy's tired. Mommy's exhausted. Mommy's drained. At the age of 25, I did not envision my life going like this. Always having all of this big responsibility on my back. I'm thankful for my support team. But even the people with help will tell you guys that it is still extremely stressful. And I feel like that. Oh, by the way, y'all should definitely follow my TikTok, where I go more in depth about my motherhood experience, and where I realize that there are thousands of women all over the world that feel the same exact way that I do. I feel like that a lot of childless women that want kids, they're thinking of the fantasy of it. They're thinking of the, oh, we're just going to be a family, we're going to be great. You cannot predict the future. And so that's why I always, you know, say in my videos, there's always a chance that, you know, you could be doing it by yourself, or you could have help. You just will never know until that time actually comes, unless that person told you up front,
Like, hey, I don't want it, get rid of it. Boom.
and you decide to keep it. But nevertheless, it's just a lot that goes into this, that a lot of days I feel like that I'm not prepared for, but it's like I don't have a choice. So it's like sometimes you're just feeling stuck in being a mother. You're like, God, you don't want your kids to feel you not always being happy, but you also don't want to, you know, fake the funk with them either. Like, that's why when my daughters get old enough to understand, I really can't wait to, you know, just sit them down and have a conversation with them about life and how life really works, because I did it to them. Like, I brought them here, so they deserve some honesty about how life really works. Like, it's not all rainbows and peaches all the time. Like, it's crooked people out here. It's jealous people out here. People won't like you just because of how you look. People won't like you just because of how you talk. People won't like you just because of the qualities that you have, but it's things that you cannot control. And the thing that I feel like guilty about with motherhood is not being able to control other people's actions when it comes to my kids. It's like, if people are out here, you know, plotting on your kids, or just being downright evil, because a lot of people do prey on kids, a lot of people do prey on single mothers. It's just certain stuff that you won't be able to prevent, and it's like I try with everything in me to prevent them, you know, from the harmful things in life. But I know that every day and every second I won't be able to do that, and I'm not in control of what's going on in other people's mind or what they may have planned. So that's why, yeah, prayer is a big part of things, and the world is just getting crookeder. And I'm just like, God, by the time my girls turn 16, I can only imagine, you know, how the world is going to be, you know, if it ain't over with yet, you know, if the world ain't ended. But and it's just like, I just feel so guilty, because I'm trying to create a way to make generational wealth for my kids, which is why I love my platform. I've been working on consistency, and I don't want my kids to have to struggle, worry, or be depressed because, like, dang, mama brought us into this world and everything is just hard. No, I want to teach them responsibility, and I also want to teach them that you have to watch your back out here. You have to be strong. Sometimes you have to be fearless. And if you ever do fail, you know, mama will be here to pick you back up. But some days I won't be able to. And I guess that's what scares me. But anyways, I thank you guys so much for coming in and joining me on this video as I go on a little rant, girl. I just pray, you know, that if you're feeling the same way as me, that you leave a comment down below. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. Check out my TikTok, where I, you know, try to encourage women to protect themselves, protect their womb. And if you're going to have a baby, always realize that sometimes the way that you plan things to happen, it just won't go like that, and you have to be prepared for whatever comes. So with all that, I say thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
And for those of you that are like, she's always ranting, you know, there's been some real rant-worthy shit going on lately, okay? You can keep scrolling. I made a video about motherhood where I said that I wasn't ready to be a mother, and honestly, I'm still not ready to be a mother. And a lady asked me, if I wasn't ready to be a mother, then why did I have a baby? And the first thing I thought was, that's like asking somebody, if you weren't ready for that tragic car accident, why'd you get in the car? But then I thought, maybe she really just doesn't know. You won't know how something affects you until you do it. You can read up about it, watch movies about it, ask everybody you know. But but you won't know how it affects you until you do it. When we talk about motherhood, I'm not sure what people get shit twisted, but I'm here to set things straight. Motherhood is much more than matching outfits and cute Instagram photos. Motherhood is kind of like having to choose to go to work or choose to tend to a sick child even though the rent is due. Motherhood is kind of like crying in a car and wanting to give up because you don't think you're good enough to raise a human being that will have to function and interact with other human beings in the future. You want to cry, you want to scream, you want to give up, but you look around and there's no one to cry to, because the people that you do cry and vent to will say, well, why'd you have it? I don't know, Brenda. It's kind of like how you begged and cried for that position, but you complain about your fucking job every day. Motherhood is kind of like struggling to survive in an economy that was built and designed to destroy everybody while healing your demons, because the last thing you want is your child to grow up in a toxic environment. If you weren't ready, then why'd you have one? It's such a silly ass question, because I think a lot of people are ready for maternity shoots and baby showers and gender reveals. But are you ready to bury your child? Because that could happen. Are you ready to pay $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 a month in medical bills if you have a special needs child, or if your child gets into an accident? Because no one talks about that. When a man decides that fatherhood is too tough, he can just disappear. But God forbid a woman speaks of how hard it is. Did you know that some mothers don't even bond with their children? They just have the baby and they think that this motherly bond and love is just gonna hit them, and it doesn't. And they feel like something is wrong with them. Did you know that that happens? Did you know that carrying a child for some mothers is extremely painful? Do you know what's also painful? Having to carry a child for 9 months and having to see your body stretch out only for some dumbass to post a picture of a taped oatmeal cream pie on his stomach to make fun of women with bodies like you. Did you know that that happens? As a mother, there is no, hey, finance has been pretty fucked up lately, I can't send the payment. If you don't send that payment to the mortgage company, your kid is homeless. If you don't buy food, your kid is hungry. As a mother, of course, some days you want to run away, but that's called neglect and will get you some substantial prison time. Have you checked the maternal suicide rates? The numbers are alarming. So the next time a woman without kids says, oh, that sounds tough, I don't think that I'm ready, please allow her some grace. And since we're giving out grace, please give grace to the mothers that says, I think that I bit off way more than I can chew. This shit is difficult. And if you can't give that mother grace, then please do not call yourself an uncle, an auntie, a titi, or a tata, because you can't give a fuck about a baby if you don't give a fuck about its mother. I hope this helps.